It's just a stat. Reggie Johnson, Eugene Morton, coming to you from the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. And Eugene, the playoffs are finally upon us here. I'm pretty excited, and we talked about this beforehand. This is kind of the time of the year we kind of wait for, at least for me, from a basketball perspective, because a lot of these teams are, they're going kind of halfway through the season. You kind of look at the basketball and get a good feel for who's going to the playoffs. I mean, you already got about over 50% of the league headed there, but at least you kind of go through the season, you get a feel for who's going to be on the outs and who is actually got a shot here. Even these play-in teams, man, do they really got a shot? We'll talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to just be here. I think you had said this before we got on, that it's nice to just be here in the playoffs. What are your thoughts on the season, man, as it ended? Any surprises this past season as we head into the playoffs?
Oh, well, I had a friend of mine who's a San Antonio fan. He's like, oh, San Antonio is like, and I was like, dude, they're going to be good. I don't know what you're talking about. Like he switched teams. He went to the Clippers. I'm like, dude, they're going to be good.
Too late, man. He sold his stock too early. He sold his stock early. And so I wonder what his thought pattern was there to make you go from there to the Clippers of all people. Like, if I'm selling my stock in a team, I'm not headed there.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to tell him, was like, he was complaining about the coaching and like playing young players. Like, it's like they're developing their guys. It's like, it's what San Antonio does.
It's a process, man. It's a process. Right. It's a real process. It's not like, we're not talking about the 76ers tank process. We're talking about the process of like, they actually like draft and like want to play their players and develop them. And things are pretty good there. I like the way they were looking. So I mean, it's tragic now because does he buy the stock back in San Antonio now?
Oh, he already did the walk back text to me this week, and it's like before Eugene says he already did it, man. I already got the walk back text. Like I told you, man. I was like, and especially when they got Dylan Harper in the draft, it's like, dude, your team is stacked. You have Castle, you have Wemby, and then you have this tremendous guard that you just drafted. I mean, and then you got another point guard who's amazing. I mean, you have these pieces. Like, what are you not seeing other than?
And it's funny, that other point guard is the oldest guy on the team. I think he was like 26, 27. He's like an old man.
Old man. He's gonna be a Walker pretty soon. But yeah, it's unfortunately they don't. It's like. Fans sometimes, and when you and I watch it, we watch it from a different perspective. It's like we understand like the ins and outs of growing a team, and we've gone through the growing pains with the Hawks and like putting our eggs in this basket. It didn't work out, but you could see it with the Spurs. They have a formula. They've done it for years, and it's like, oh, they get their one draft pick, and they're gonna build around this talented player, and so that's what they've done. And it's like, dude, I don't know what you're watching, but they're gonna be good this year. I mean, I didn't expect him to be number 2 seed good. I mean, I was
right. I mean, I would have probably had Minnesota or somebody there, and I think that Minnesota and those other teams would earned that being like whether it's Minnesota or the Nuggets or some of teams like of that nature, it wouldn't have been crazy to think that they would have been in that 2 spot.
No, like I said, my prediction was they were not going to be a playing team. I said they were going to be at least in the top 6. Like there's 1 through 6 seed. I did not predict them to be. I'm not going to go out here and say I predict them to be the number 2 seed. But I thought they would just cause havoc what they did, but I didn't think they didn't be number 2 seed. I predict them to be not a playing team. That's exactly where I predict them to be this year.
It's very interesting, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the OKC and the Thunder or Spurs and OKC in general because of those turnarounds there with those young teams. So we'll speak a little bit about that in our next segment. What do you think about the Lakers and the Rockets? And any trust for these teams as we get down to the 4th and 5th seeds there?
No, Lakers. They're done. I mean, you don't have your 2 top guys. I'm sorry.
Are they out? Is it Reeves and Doncic out for the Lakers?
Yes,
for the entirety of is it the entirety of the first round?
I mean, they say maybe Luka could come back in the first round, but I just until I see him warming up or playing like just basketball. I mean, just warming up. I mean, I don't know. I just think. Let's just face it. Even like the odds have put Houston ahead of them. It's just too much for them to overcome. It's just too much. You can't take your two best guys. I mean, I love LeBron, but I mean, a 41-year-old was
a lot by himself, man.
By himself,
right?
No, he's not carrying a team through through a 7-game series. It's just not going to happen. He'll get you one and a half games too, but no, I they're done unless, like I said, unless there's some miraculous healing from Reese and Luka. I don't see it happening.
You know what's interesting is seeing the Timberwolves down here at the 6th seed. I would have thought that coming into the season, a lot of people would have figured they'd be in those top couple spots there. People used to seeing them as high achievers the past few years. What are your thoughts there? They're not exactly a play-in team, but they're not in the top 3 either.
They're just, they're just a weird team. They're good. I mean, they're really good. You'll watch them one night. You'll watch them some nights, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, this team is an NBA contender, or they're going to be contending for championships." And then you'll watch them just throw up some stinkers. You're like, and it's not like, oh, you can see, well, most of their starting 5 is out, but it's just they're just inconsistent. But again, they've proven, how many times have they been like in this role and just been so good at the playoffs? But again, it's not like you're playing. It's not like you get lucky to play either Houston or the Lakers in the first round. You got to play the Nuggets, who now have their 3 guys are healthy. You got,
man. It's not what you want to see, right?
Not what you want to see, right? They're going healthy and they're getting healthy and for the playoffs. That's never what you want to see when you got your top guys healthy. And I don't know. I mean, that might be too much for Minnesota to overcome. I mean, especially when you've got, again, you could argue 1A, 1B, who's the best player in the NBA right now between, but I'm from Denver or San Antonio, but I think it's too much for Minnesota to overcome.
Let's talk a little about the ways West Coast play-in teams, man. Oh, well, you know what? Before we even go there, because we didn't really touch a lot on the Rockets, more so than just feeling like they were going to beat the Lakers. Any long-term success for the Rockets? And they got to still get through the Lakers. It's not done. It's not a done deal by any stretch. But let's say that does get done. Are you trusting them for a longer playoff run, or are you feeling like it's kind of going to be it?
No, I mean they're not beating OKC. There's no way. I just know you're not. If that's slated correctly, they're going to play OKC in the next round. No, they're not. They don't have the depth. And I think, did you hear today? And I think KD and Thompson are like tops, like they're like top 5 or top 7 or in like minutes played.
Wow, for KD, man, goodness.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly, right? That's not what you want, and it's just they're not playing their bench guys. They're relying too much.
What do you think? Is that a trust situation? What is that about?
I don't know. It's like you gotta, like, especially in these regular season games, you got to put some guys out there. I mean, look at Boston. Look how many guys Boston plays. Now, they're probably not going to play those guys in the playoffs, but you got to experiment. And that was the nail in the coffin for Malone, right? For Denver. Like, he never played young guys. Tibbs never played young guys. It's like you got to extend your bench. If you don't extend your bench, this is where you always get exposed.
It's correct. The playoffs is where your lack of depth will be exposed,
right?
in the playoffs, 100%.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it's interesting to see because the teams that are at the top are just rolling and seem like to not have any of these problems. Any respect for the play-in teams with the Suns? You got the Suns in Portland there playing to see who gets to play San Antonio.
I mean, look at both those teams last year. I mean, just you weren't putting them on a league pass, right? You weren't watching those teams. No,
not at all. Neither, right? Because Dame is out all this year, right? So he didn't play.
No, but now you've got this teams. These are like, they're actually functioning teams. So all you hope for, like those on the 7-8, is they be respectable. Like you win one game against San Antonio, either one of those teams. But I mean, from where they were a year ago to being a play-in conversation, I mean, both those teams were on the outside looking in, and you were like, and even this year, like I wasn't picking either one. I was predicting both teams to be at the bottoms, and they proved me wrong. And listen, I just had to hold on to my Scoot Henderson, my island, because I was if I sold it, I was gonna be in negative equity. So
goodness
I just
gracious.
had to hold it.
It's upside down right now, man.
It's upside down, and he's looking better. He's not gonna be. He's never gonna be a shooter, but my God,
it was where he was picked, right? That causes him.
Yes, that's always
oftentimes is going to cause you problems where you're picked at. He was picked very high, so I think that's going to be the issues of people feeling like he never lived up to that. I mean, he's still got a chance. He's not old, but what I'm saying. That's typically where a lot of this criticism comes from.
Right. If he's picked 15 through 20, you're not saying a word. You're like, oh, Scoob, he looks, you're exactly what a great point. He's picking those in that bottom half. You're not saying a word. You're like, oh, wow, I got this from this. Yes.
Right. You're going to feel like you got a steal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What do you think about the Warriors hanging around? It's hard to have any respect there. Right, they each my lack of depth, man. I mean, I feel like they got lack of depth from their starting team. Like they got lack of depth even when they're starting.
It's just
their guys. What is it? The Curry show there?
I mean, I guess he's playing.
It ain't even the Curry Draymond show, man. Like it's not even that show, is it? I mean,
yeah.
Draymond's okay, but I don't know. Some of these teams that go on and they're winning year after year and go on these runs, they just when they start to look old or rusty or stuff, they seem to get there quick.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to do like the mini rebuild with with some other their draft capital, but just never panned out. And now
I think Kuminga was part of that, right?
Yeah, like Kuminga was part of that.
Was going to work. Mm-hmm. Was going to be, and there was another player they had there. They shipped them out of there too. They were hoping they were going to be part. It just didn't pan out for them.
Yeah, and so now I think. I mean, unfortunately, that's where there will be unless they make some major changes, and then it all hinges on Curry. I mean, he said he wants to be there, and Kerr. I'd be kind of shocked. I don't think this. I've heard this before. I'm not reporting anything like crazy, but Kerr not being there next year.
Really? Is that what's out there?
I keep hearing that. I mean, but he keeps saying I'll be there as long as Curry's there. But I just wonder if he's just kind of like done. I mean, I don't know what more. I mean,
you definitely don't know what to prove. I mean, they really could have all hung it up years ago and been rolled off into Hall of Fame land. But maybe you want to keep doing it while you can, I guess. Maybe that's the point. I mean, what about the Clippers here? Clippers seem like they went on a run at some point in the season. I'm not sure what happened.
Kawhi got healthy. Kawhi stayed healthy. That was a big part of it. And they just, I mean, maybe getting rid of James Harden wasn't a bad thing either. So they've got a good team.
I haven't watched any Clippers games this year, man. I gotta be honest here, man. I don't think I've watched anything but highlights for the Clippers.
They're good. They're a good team. But again, if you're going in, here's the thing: you're either one of the teams, sacrificial lamb, right? For OKC, neither one of those teams can match up against OKC. Which again, that's not saying much. Not a lot of teams on this list, on this graphic right here, can match up against OKC. So I'm not.
So let's talk about the East side here, and we'll talk a little bit more about Detroit being one very shocking there, and we're going to go more depth in that later on in the show. Any surprises here as far as your 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds? Kind of usual suspects here. I mean, surprise would be us, the Hawks. We'll talk about ourselves, man.
We're not a playing team this year. We're not a playing team.
We're not, bro. Reggie, it's funny. It's interesting because you maybe you guys spoke that into existence, man. You felt like we were gonna be pretty decent. I didn't know that getting rid of Trey would mean instant playoff success.
I did not either. I was like, because at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh my God, San Antonio has our pick. And we were looking abysmal. I mean, we're looking, oh, great. They're going to get a top pick again from us. They're going to be, and now I think it's in the 20s now, right? Because we're like the number 6 seed. Last time I checked, they were like in the 20s for that pick, which is great. It's a little different, right? Going against the Knicks. The last time we played the Knicks, kind of in that 4 or 5 range, we were the more talented team, right? Like we knew we were the more talented team, but we're definitely not. Knicks definitely had the better talent, but it's not like we're going into this scared. Like this Hawks team is not scared of anybody. It's not scared of the Knicks, or I don't think the Celtics, because both the Knicks and the Celtics play are kind of our style. They kind of play slow and kind of half court, I think, which benefits us. I'm not saying we're going to beat either one of those teams. I'm just saying.
Feel very excited out here, man.
I'm excited to
talk like that.
I'm excited to watch this team. I mean, they've just been fun all year. Like a buddy of mine said, it's like, dude, this team is a roller coaster this year. Just enjoy the ride. Don't get your hopes up. The season was, the end of the year was great. I know we had one of the best records, but I mean, yes, if you deep dive into the teams we played, a lot of teams were missing key players in those streaks, but whatever.
Yeah.
They still look good. I mean, the thing that always was impressive about even though how they played, they were still playing the team ball, which I think limited them with Trey. They were not it was a very like, here, Trey, you go do your thing. We'll wait over here. It's a very unselfish team. And I'm not trying to be mean against Trey, because Trey gave us gave us Eastern Conference, finals moment.
Yes, absolutely.
I always thank him for
thankful for that. Right.
Right.
For sure.
And he just had that attitude. Like we haven't had that with a Hawks player. Like, give me the ball and I will take you to the promised land. And, for better or worse. And so, and this team is just, it's just built differently, and it's not a bad thing, but I just, like I said, enjoy it. I'm not predicting they're beating the Knicks or the Celtics in the next round. I'm just saying they could make some noise, at least against the Knicks. And if they don't win, great. Guess what? We still have a top pick between New Orleans
and I'm
Milwaukee.
very excited about that.
Right. And so here we go. We still have we can still have a possible top 10 lottery pick for the draft. And we're number 6 in the seeding. So, like I said, roller coaster, enjoy the ride. Just have fun with it.
So looking at the teams here, besides Detroit, in which we will talk about, or at least the ones that we'll get to the playoff teams here in a second too. But looking at the teams that aren't play-in teams, you got a lot of the usual suspects here on the East. What's interesting about the Hawks, and a lot of fans I talk to, we're definitely full of hopium for sure, because we're used to just not being good. Mm-hmm. And I am cautiously optimistic here. Okay. The only thing that I would add here, because only concern I would say I have is the fact that we don't have a guy. So now what I mean here is, when I look at teams that have had like kind of these playoff success, the only ones that I remember not having a guy in recent memory was the 2004, I think it was, Pistons. Yep. I want to say 4 or 5 Pistons with Chauncey and Ben Wallace and the guys.
Hey, don't forget about Rip. Don't forget about Rip.
Right, Rip definitely was there. And that was kind of the thing, though, right? They were all contributors. They were all kind of a part of the team. And typically you got a takeover, a guy that's kind of like your MVP caliber guy on your team.
Right.
Not having one of these guys always gives me concern, because I always feel like when the pedal meets the road, when it comes time for it to happen, and it's mano a mano, they got their guy over there, you got your guy over there. Do you feel comfortable when you're looking at your team? And in our team, who would you say Jalen Johnson's our guy? I had this conversation with a coworker earlier, so I already kind of know the numbers of some of these things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we were talking about Jalen Johnson kind of being the guy on our team. As far as like, that's our player. Okay. Right. We got Jalen Johnson. That's our top player. Now, when you're going into these kind of situations, even if you love your team, because you can kind of replace Jalen Johnson with somebody on your team if you don't have one of those players. But how comfortable then do you feel like when rubber meets the road, you got to go with your guy versus like a Jason Tatum versus like a Jokic and Anthony Edwards versus, you see what I'm saying? When it's time for the guys to go against each other, and you need somebody to go out there with not necessarily guarding SGA, but you need a guy who can go out there and at least get you 30 like the guy can comfortably get you. You know what I mean? Like that's keeping us holding serve with what's going on over there. Right. I think it's just difficult because those guys they don't grow on trees. There's only a few of them, and they're kind of spread out now because of the apron situation. You know, you don't see the 3-on-1 team as much as you used to see anymore. So that's the only thing that would give me a concern when I'm looking at just the further down the road. I'm not necessarily looking at just this round or the next, because this round, I like the Brunson matchup as much because I don't know if Brunson has graduated to being one of those guys either. You know, Brunson is a great player, but I don't know if he's in the same caliber as like your Ants, your Lukas, Jokic's, SGA's, Wemby's. You see what I'm saying? The guys, right. Like those guys that you're going to have to go up against over there. You're going to need a Tatum and Embiid as much as we talk about them. You know what I mean? It's nice to have them.
Nice to have that big body in the middle.
When you are having to go up against the other player, I guess Donovan Mitchell, you could say that, right? Donovan Mitchell, I really like Donovan. I don't know if I would put him quite up there, but I do think Donovan can be a guy. He's shown spurts of being able to go out there and handle business when he had to. Tatum, definitely a guy. Brown, definitely a guy on their team. And then we'll talk about Detroit with Cunningham there. But that's the only thing that really kind of gives me any kind of concern down the line, because I feel like with a lot of these great teams, you're eventually going to see one of these guys. Even if you don't see him in the first round, down the line, you're going to have to play one of these players, and it just helps if you have one on your team. Right. Do you think there's even a way that we could how could we even get one? I mean, unless Jalen Johnson takes a remarkable leap, and now he's giving you those Jokic numbers at like 28, 13, and 11 that Jokic is casually giving you over there.
Right.
How are you holding serve with that?
Well, I mean, and to even add to your point, you have CJ. So now you're relying on an over a 30, I think 35, 36-year-old.
To be like your Batman, right?
To be your Batman, right?
Jamal Murray, right? Like so now you got to see how your seconds lined up against your seconds. You know how you start to go down the list, and I think that's where some of these teams that experience perennial playoff success start to separate themselves. Right. It's because they've got these guys on their team. They're used to being in the playoffs. They're used to this is not new to them. And eventually, even if you're kind of hoping for your team to kind of get into the play-in and you're kind of going in or get into the playoffs and stuff like that, I think one thing that you just got to keep in mind is that eventually you will go see one of these guys. You're going to go see Tatum eventually. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to go see whether it's Mitchell. Not sure about Embiid. Embiid's in a play-in game. So that puts him in an interesting situation with the Magic. Any trust for that going into Boston? I mean, I think Boston has earned benefit of the doubt here, but any trust in that? Maybe Embiid, maybe 76ers come away and with an upset or something?
I don't know. I mean, I know Embiid has his apnea, so I don't know if he's even going to play. I mean, he probably will play. I mean, I'm not sure. Gracious. Yeah, so you got that piece of it. But no, neither one of those teams. I mean, they're fun. I mean, I do love the two guards on the 76ers, but no, they don't have the depth to match up against Boston. Yeah, they don't. Boston, especially when you have Tatum back, and the cool thing about Boston is when Tatum was out, Boston got to experiment with different lineups and different things to go. They played different guys. You know, you had different lineups out there, you know, to trust for, you know, players. You know, we can't play Tatum because he's not out here, so we're gonna put guys out here and see. We're gonna see what we got on our bench. You know, so they had that ability to experiment. Same thing with the Hawks. The Hawks had no choice. Trey's gone. Now we have to figure this out. We got to figure out.
And I like how we're looking, man. I just really I like our team all year. I really think that if we could get Giannis or somebody down here, somebody just to be that extra over, you know what I mean? To where it's not Jalen Johnson's not having to hold serve with some of these guys, because he's a great player, but it's going to be tough to hold serve with the Anthony Edwards and Wemby's and SGA's and Tatum's of the world. These just it can be on otherworldly sometimes and can be hard to deal with. But if we got one of those guys, and then Jalen Johnson is our second guy now, and now we got to match our Jalen Johnson up with like a Jamal Murray or something like that. Then hey, I'm looking, I'm liking that. If that comes to fruition.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the cool thing is like we've got so much money coming off the books, from the trades. We've got this piece with your top pick. This is a loaded draft this year. So I mean that's a good thing in our eyes. I mean when we drafted Ricochet, I mean granted we go back, we're picking Castle, right? There's no doubt Castle is going to be our pick. There's no doubt you're picking Castle out of that draft pick, out of the draft.
Yeah,
I mean
100%.
Unfortunately,
redraft, right?
We hopefully maybe something can be salvaged from Ricochet, but the minutes are going down. But the cool thing is, like I said, the Hawks are just in a good position, and we can kind of see what we have. I love Jalen, but I think what you said is spot on. I think he's a number 2, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a strong number 2.
There isn't, because like some of these number 2s could be ones, but you got to understand what that looks like when you are. If you're a 2 and you're the 1 on the team, it's gonna be hard for you to overcome other teams that are stacked. with guys,
right? And here's the thing: I just haven't seen him do like the takeover thing. Like I've not seen. That's the one thing we haven't seen. Now maybe he finds that in the playoffs. It's because this at least with the Knicks. We're playing the Knicks. We have guys we can throw at Brunson. We have one of the best defensive point guards in the land in the NBA. So we can throw him at Brunson, and Brunson, let's face it, Brunson's going to get his points. He's going to get his fouls.
He's going to get his points for sure.
But we have guys we can throw at him to slow him down, and make it uncomfortable. Again, we lose the series, but maybe we make it uncomfortable and we go, look at our team. We just need X, Y, and Z piece to put in here. But yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the Hawks for this playoff run.
Yeah, for sure. And I like what's going on here in the East. It would be nice to see the Detroit go on a run here. What do you think about the Hornets and the Heat?
Hornets have been fun all year. I think they started off 6-14.
The guy looks like they got the rookie of the year, right? In Knipple.
I think Knipple is going to be the rookie of the year. Steady Miami, they're a walking horror movie. You can't kill them.
What is it? Adebayo is the Adebayo show there in Miami. He's pretty much their one right now because they were hoping it was going to be Hero at one point, but I don't know if that ever materialized.
You got both of those guys as your 2 solid players, but I don't know.
I don't like that. I don't like that. They're going to need more than that. In my opinion.
Right.
They need more than that.
But again, a smart team, a smart organization. So you just kind of want to see what they're going to do at the end of the year, right? But Charlotte, again, look at them. How many times have we written Charlotte off as every year they're going to be a bottom swelling team, and they started off that way, but they're like one of the hottest teams. Again, you've got 3 guys on your opposite side. Now they could use middle, right? They need help in the middle. That's where they get killed. And that's where, where they were exposed later when they kind of went on the run, they were exposed when they don't have the big guys in the, it just to clog up the lanes. But, in the NBA, you just got to go sign a couple of those guys in the offseason, and I think they're going to be in this conversation next year. They're going to be in that top 6 next year. I would be surprised if they're not. Just the way their team is just going.
Do you have anything for the Cavs and the Raptors? The Raptors always just seem to kind of just be there. To me, an organization is a competent organization. They put a decent basketball product on the floor year after year, and it just does not seem very exciting this year.
No, then I think they've lost. I think between the top 3 seeds in both conferences, I think they either won 3 games against them or none won. It's been a very bad sample size. So against the top tier teams, they do not play good against them. But the funny thing is, they're good on the road, but not good at home. So make that make sense.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and it will be
Yeah,
interesting to see how that plays itself out in the playoffs here, right? Because they're on the road.
yeah, right, which is so funny. Cleveland, I'm just curious to see what that team does. I mean, they are an apron team. Uh, what if just Toronto pulls
Oh,
the beats them? Um,
you got to
and
evaluate that, man,
right,
because that gets pretty expensive going down the line here. And a 4 seed, I mean, I've seen apron teams be worse than that, but it's for sure you've seen it happen. But usually with those apron teams, they're teams that are kind of like already had success in the past. Maybe they're overpaying old players or something like that. Whereas the Cavs, I mean, there's not really any hardware to show for that paying for that apron. So I mean, it's something would need to happen here this year, right?
yeah,
I mean,
you
they
got to at
got
least make
Garland
a
out of there, got your boy Harden over there.
but yeah, you have to make a run, and then you're not in a great spot to make a run. I mean, because
You gotta make a run, and you're not feeling the run. Is what you're saying. You don't see the
well,
run happen.
I mean, it's you would thought it would happen last year. They were like one of the
Yeah,
best teams you thought, and they
yeah, they
just
were a good team, man. I don't know if it was injuries or what happened down the stretch there, but things were working out for them. No, it doesn't sound to me though, just listening to you talk, that it's you have a ton of faith in either one of these teams in the long haul, is what it says. At least that's what
no,
I'm getting from you.
nope, no, I'm not. No, I just from what I've watched, I mean, just inconsistent. Both, and like I said, Toronto just spends money for. I'm gonna re up this guy. Why? Just let it play out. See what happens. You look at them. I can't remember who the Toronto was trying to trade for Trey Young. And it was like, was it quickly? I think it was quickly, right? And if I think I'm right on that, but it's one of those things like thank God the Hawks didn't pull that trade. It's like why and they just overplay players and it's man I just for a number 5, great, but you're just gonna be
Goodness.
I don't know. I like Scotty Barnes, but I was never been like, oh, it's like hitch my wagon, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, I think it's the same situation as we were talking about with the Jalen Johnson situation, where a lot of these guys are
Yes,
good guys, but it would be probably better for your team if there was one of those other guys was over there, like with them. Now not in
right.
place of them, but just with them. If you had a guy to maybe that team would be a little bit better. But maybe they surprise us here.